We're right in the middle of that odd period where one year is over and another has yet to really begin, which means it's perfect timing for the top 5 of Deadline's top 10 new shows of 2017. In our first part, Netflix's Dear White People, a tie between the CW's Riverdale and Netflix's Glow, and another tie between FX's Legion and HBO's Big Little Lies, BET's The Rundown with Robin Thede, and an even Steven between Netflix's One Day at a Time reboot and HBO's The Deuce made up slots 6 to 10. But before we get into the top 5 now, I want to take a sec to offer some admiration for some remarkable and too often underappreciated second seasons that we saw in 2017. From Fox's just recently completed The Exorcist, FX's Better Things, Amazon's One Mississippi, BBC America's unfortunately now canceled Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, HBO's Insecure, the sadly departed Underground, OWN's Queen Sugar, Starz The Girlfriend Experience, and Epic's excellent Berlin Station, there are some great sophomore efforts to binge over the next few days if you want to. And with that, let's get to the final 5 in our top 10 new shows of 2017 with another tie at number 5 with Netflix and Spike Lee's TV version of the Maestro's 1986 feature debut She's Gotta Have It, and Discovery's surprisingly riveting August 1st debuting Ted Kaczynski capture backstory, Manhunt Unabomber, with Sam Worthington and Paul Bettany.
A terrorist called Unabomber is planning to blow up an airliner sometime during the next 6 days.
He's targeting airlines, scientists, computers, forestry people.
We have done every kind of victimology. His victims are totally random.
From the 2-hour premiere onwards, I have to tell you, I was hooked in a process that takes the best of the procedural format and adds layer on layer to its narrative, characters, and context.
So tell me a little bit about the men in your life.
Oh, God.
Stripping off a lot of the problematic, to put it mildly, elements of the original, and going for color over the indie classic's near total black and white look, figuratively and literally, She's Gotta Have It, is a rare second pass that breathes new life into its 21st century updated story. Even if it is the life of a sex-positive, polyamorous, pansexual 20-something black woman depicted through the eyes of a now 60-year-old black man. Next up is another Netflix series, Mindhunter, in a list that I have to admit has a lot of selections from the streaming service. But hey, whatever. The Reed Hastings-run company had a lot of good shows this year, so run with it. At number 4, this October 13th launching partially David Fincher-directed serial killer Mindset, late 1970s set series with Jonathan Groff and Holt McCanley as FBI agents creating what we now know as criminal profiling. Well, it just blew my mind.
It's not easy butchering people. It's hard work. Physically and mentally, I don't think people realize you need to vent. You know, there's a lot more like me.
Do you think so?
I will say that Fight Club vet McCalney and Hamilton alum Groff are a near-perfect haunted odd couple of sorts, who take the spoiled trope of gruff old-timer and too clever for their own good newbie and make it seem, well, almost new. In that vein of old and new, David Fincher helped bring Netflix original programming glory when House of Cards debuted back in the old days of 2013. With Mindhunter, he may help them do so again. The 2018 Sundance Film Festival starts in less than a month, and with Dear White People, and now with Showtime's Smilf, our number 3 best new show of 2017, another alum of the Robert Redford Founded Fest lays claim to the small screen with this Boston-based instant classic and now renewed series from Frankie Shaw and starring, and I have to say this, a simply amazing Rosie O'Donnell.
Baby, how you feeling?
I must have forgot to add money on this one. Come on. I'm a single mom.
I am too.
You are? How old's your kid? 5.
Safe driving out there.
The name might make you blush, but coming in the 11th inning, Frankie Shaw's Smilf is one of the best things to hit the small screen this year. Breaking Showtime's, say, less than stellar comedy streak in recent months, the November 5th debuting series, which comes right after the return of Shameless on Sunday on Showtime, and the same night as the premiere of the wonderful Season 2 of The Girlfriend Experience on Starz, is smart, sexy, and frank about sexual abuse too, and sharp in its depiction of struggling single mom Bridget Bird. There's been a lot of drama of late behind the camera, with Starz' adaptation of Neil Gaiman's beloved and acclaimed 2001 novel American Gods, with the recent exits of showrunners Brian Fuller and Michael Green. But this April 30th 8-episode starring Ricky Whittle, Ian McShane, and many more series was simply divine in its first season.
What's a god? They're real if you believe in them. So who are you? You wouldn't believe in me if I told you.
You know, there's a great line in that great 80s tune, Under the Milky Way from The Church, that says, "Wish I knew what you were looking for, might have known what you would find." It's a very fitting line in many ways for this series, which might be the most ambitious that Starz has ever done, but with one exception. What you will find here with American Gods is something challenging and exceptional, and that's why you should watch it. So here we are at number 1 on our top 10 new shows of 2017. And I have to say, even with the excellent Netflix adaptation of Margaret Atwood's Alias Grace, the choice here was clear almost from the moment that the first 3 episodes of Bruce Miller's adaptation of Atwood's mid-1980s novel, The Handmaid's Tale, debuted on Hulu on April 26, which is probably why, way before there was a Me Too movement, but after the women's marches of January 21st and the attacks that many see against women in the body politics themselves today, the Elizabeth Moss-led horror show of sorts took home the best drama at the Emmys this year. The first time a streaming service has won that prize, and in this case, deservingly so.
I had another name, but it's forbidden now. So many things are forbidden now.
Look, this Handmaid's Tale will scare you profoundly in its horrors, and remind us all of how fast the past can become another world with a new law here and there, and obedience to a strong man's prejudice and misogyny enforced by the barrel of a gun and the acquiescence of the many. With that, don't look away from The Handmaid's Tale. Watch closely and pay attention. So on that somewhat somber note of a year of joyous creativity, and it really was amazing TV, that is our top 10 new shows of 2017. All of which I can't impress on you strongly enough to watch if you haven't yet already. And with those Golden Globes coming up, you know you should. However, with that, and wishing you all a very happy new year, here's a hint or two for 2018. Look out for Starz' counterpart, which actually previewed a couple of weeks back after The Outlander Season 3 finale, and USA's Unsolved, the murders of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. And when you see them, you can say, I told you so.